Imagine waking up one morning, opening your door, and realizing your entire town has vanished under a mountain of snow. Roads gone, houses buried, silence everywhere, broken only by howling winds. These are not scenes from a movie, but real events that shook the world. Events so powerful they left cities paralyzed, villages wiped off the map, and thousands of lives lost. Let's dive into the frozen fury of nature's deadliest blizzards. The Japan Snowstorm of 2014. When we think of Japan, we often imagine a country where trains run with clockwork precision, where cities buzz with efficiency, and where preparation for natural disasters is second nature. Yet in February 2014, nature reminded everyone that even the most organized societies can be brought to a standstill. That winter, Japan was struck by one of the most powerful and disruptive snowstorms in decades, an event that paralyzed transport, shut down businesses, and revealed just how vulnerable urban life can be when faced with unexpected extremes. The snowstorm swept across Honshu, Japan's largest island, dumping record-breaking amounts of snow in regions unaccustomed to such weather. Tokyo, a city that rarely sees more than a dusting of snow, was blanketed with over 25 centimeters in a matter of hours, the heaviest snowfall in more than 45 years. For residents, it felt surreal. A bustling metropolis suddenly transformed into a snowbound landscape. Roads were quickly clogged with cars that could no longer move, and highways turned into endless parking lots. Commuters who relied on Japan's famously efficient railways were left stranded as train services were severely disrupted. The country's airports were among the hardest hit. More than 1,600 flights were canceled across the nation, leaving tens of thousands of passengers stranded. Expressways leading into and out of Tokyo were blocked by jackknife trucks and abandoned vehicles, as drivers had no choice but to leave their cars and walk through the snow. Even local bus services came to a halt in many areas, leaving residents to trudge home through icy conditions. For a country where punctuality and smooth operations are deeply ingrained in everyday life, the sudden breakdown of transportation systems came as a shock. The snowstorm wasn't just inconvenient, it was deadly. At least 11 people lost their lives, and more than 1,200 were injured in accidents caused by icy roads, collapsing roofs, and falling snow. Power lines snapped under the heavy load of ice and snow, leaving tens of thousands of households in the dark and without heating at the height of winter. Rural areas, particularly in Yamanashi Prefecture, west of Tokyo, were buried under more than a meter of snow. Villages became isolated as roads disappeared beneath massive drifts, and emergency services struggled to reach those in need. The storm caused widespread economic disruption. Supermarkets saw their shelves empty as delivery trucks could not make it into the cities. Farmers in surrounding regions suffered devastating losses as the weight of snow collapsed greenhouses and storage facilities. For many businesses, the storm meant days of lost productivity as workers were unable to commute. The Japanese government later estimated that the snowstorm caused billions of yen in damages, both directly and indirectly. What made the 2014 snowstorm so impactful was not just the volume of snow, but the way it exposed weaknesses in urban infrastructure and emergency planning. Cities like Tokyo, designed to handle earthquakes and typhoons, were far less prepared for an onslaught of snow and ice. Even in a country with one of the best disaster response systems in the world, the storm proved that nature can still deliver surprises that catch everyone off guard. In the weeks following the snowstorm, Japan began reviewing its response measures. Local governments invested in more snow removal equipment, and transportation authorities updated their protocols for severe winter weather. But for those who lived through it, the memory of February 2014 remained vivid. It was a moment when Tokyo, usually unstoppable, came to a grinding halt.